we are going to continue. As I mentioned, this last 2 units are a lot on quadratics, just kind of going a little step further each time. That's going to continue by now solving them using factored form. It says let's try some quadratics that before now we could only solve by graphing. So here is one that we have tried just by graphing. Right, we haven't talked about factoring that and finding answers. But it says choose a whole number between 0 and 10.
0. 2.
Okay, 0. Let's plug in 0, see what you get. So 0 squared minus 2 times 0. Okay, so if I plug in 0, I get negative 35. Okay, somebody else choose one. We're trying to get to 0. There's an answer there that works. Huh? Well, until we find it. You can shut it off if you want. Plug in 2. 2 squared is? 4. Minus 2 times 4, that's 8. Minus 35.
Not 2 times 4. It would be 2 times 2.
Oh yeah, you're right.
To a negative 35.
So you get negative 35 again. Okay, so that was a poor choice.
4.
How about a little bigger? Because that didn't move much.
7.
7. 7 squared. 49. Minus 2 times 4. Minus 35.
0. Yeah. Just kidding.
4 belongs in your brain.
I keep saying 2 times 4.
Keep saying 2 times 4.
Oh, 2 times 7. There it is, you found it.
Is it really? Good job, Amy.
So basically that means, your graph is coming up and then coming back down here again, somewhere here.
Hey, we found out it had to be
It says there's another way, another number that works to plug in 0. Can you find it? Well, as good as that went, I'm not going to chance that. But here's the gist of this problem. If you factor this, like we have been doing, like we did on the Kahoot yesterday, I have a minus sign there, so I need a plus and a minus. And I'm looking for factors of 35 that differ by negative 2.
What did you say?
Factors of 35, so they multiply together to give you 35. So again, you can write your choices down if you want. But they add up to negative 2. I think I heard it. Somebody said it. Samir, did you say it? Negative 7 and 5. The negative is bigger by 2. Now using factored form, I can tell the answers are going to be 7. Oh, look how easy that was. And negative 5. That'd be the other one.
Doesn't that have a middle term in it, though? That equates. But it's still the same, though.
Well, we factored it. That's including the middle term. So those are what would give you the zeros, the x-intercepts, the solutions. That would make the equation true. So now that we know how to factor, we can use that to find the solutions. So let's look at 9.2. It says, let's solve some equations. And I just want to look at what Tyler did then in each step. We're going to write it down next to it. So here's the first one. What did he do for the next one? Okay, how? Okay, subtracted 99. And that was to make right side 0. Okay, and then what happened? Factored. Factors of 99 that differ by negative 2. So they multiply to give you 99, differ by negative 2. He's got them there. Then what? Yeah, that's a zero property, remember, right? Zero property. And then he just solved it. What makes them zero? Pretty simple. Okay, so we're going to try that. Let's pick two of these to do together, then I'm going to have you try three of them. So somebody pick one you'd like to do together.
The bottom one.
Bottom one. Okay, now how do you do this if you have a separate problem and a minus 30? Well, first you got to FOIL the x squared part of it here. So I'm going to FOIL that. Draw a diagram if you need to. I'm going to combine like terms. And then I'm going to remember I got this minus 30, so I actually have to combine like terms again. So here's the equation that I need to factor.
So you factor it all over again?
Yes. Because you have a different equation. That minus 30 changes stuff up. So I'm looking for factors of 10. So in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, my choices are 1 times 10, 2 times 5. I know I'm going to have one of each because of this minus. So I'm thinking of factors of 10 that add up to positive 9.
Negative 1. Wait, 9.
Positive 10, negative 1.
Positive 10, negative 1 would give you a positive 9. That means my solutions, my zeros, are negative 10 and 1.
No, positive 10. Right?
Nope, negative 10.
But you'd be a positive 9.
Yeah, you said it right.
Yeah, the factor form is right, but my solutions to make it 0, to make that 0 is negative 10 and 1.
So what did you already know for?
You were figuring out where your graph crosses the x-axis. Okay, let's pick another one. D. All right, that is a minus, so I'm going to break it. Did we just do that one? No, not quite. 7 minus x, 7 plus x. Again, that equals 0. Okay, so what would make that one 0?
7 and negative 7.
Done. Those would be my solutions. So factor it, and then what makes it 0? That's what you're doing. What makes each part of the parentheses 0? So why don't you try the other 3 there? Give you about 3 minutes and 1 minute per problem. Then we will go through them. plus, then they both gotta be minuses.
What if they're both minuses?
One of each. Because the only way to get a minus would be a positive times a negative. That last number. They're both minuses, you got one of each, and then the bigger number goes with the negative. All right, I think it's been 3 minutes. Next one, again, I'm thinking factors of 15 that add up to 8. The pluses are the easiest ones, right? They're both plus. It's 3 and 5. So that means your answer that would give you 0 would be -3 and -5 are your answers. Questions on that? Again, your only choices are 1 and 15, 3 and 5. Next one, I got to bring that 5 over. I got to set it equal to 0, so I got to subtract 5 from both sides first. 12 minus 5 is 7. So I'm looking for factors of 7. And notice this goes minus plus. The only way to get minus plus would be if they're both negative, because 2 negatives would make a positive. So I'm looking for factors of 7 that add up to 8. Well, 7's an easy one because you only have 2 choices.
Would it be factors of 8 that add up to 7?
No. There are no factors of 8 that add up to
So
7.
the answer is 7 and 1.
So your answer is 1 and 7, yes. Okay, 2 minuses. Anytime I have 2 minuses, I gotta have one of each because the only way to get a negative last term is if one of them is negative. So I'm looking for factors of 11 that differ by 10. Once again, with 11, you only have 2 choices. It's just a matter of where do they go. 111 or 11-1. Bigger one has to be negative because that's negative. That means your solutions are
Positive 11, negative 1.
11 and -1.
So all you're doing in this is just getting the, what is it, the factored equation, right?
Getting factored form.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then to figure out the x-intercepts.
Correct. Because before all we did was graph those because we didn't know how to factor. This one we're going to actually skip, but I do want you to practice factoring. So let's pick one on the left. Which one do you want to factor?
The first one.
First one? How about the second one?
Second one.
Okay, factor those 2, please. Just practice factoring.
So when you say like factors of blank that add up to blank, like which one is the factor and which one's the add?
The last one is what we multiply to get.
And then the first one's what you
So
add.
multiply to get -20, add to get -1. Factors of 20, 120, 210, 4, 5. Those are your only choices. So they got to multiply to give you 20, but they got to add to -1. Which one gets a negative?
Negative 5, positive 4.
Bigger one's negative because the middle term's negative. Your answer would be 5 and -4 there. One on the right. So they multiply to give you 15, but add to give you -8.
3 and 5.
And they,
Or negative 3.
and they both have to be minus.
But like the answer is 3 and 5.
Answer would be 3 and 5, yes. Again, like we did yesterday on the Kahoot, plenty of opportunities to practice those. Type in factoring trinomials. Means 3 terms. Khan Academy has some as well. All right, final question we're going to look at. Says the other day we saw a quadratic can have 0, 1, or 2 solutions. Sketch a graph. Sketch one that has 0 solutions, 1 solution, and 2.
You can't sketch from 0, it's gonna be nothing.
Not true.
No line shows up though. Or is it like it doesn't cross X intersection?
That's all it's looking for.
Okay.
No solution. 1 solution. 2 solutions. I think we drew those exact graphs not that long ago. Okay, it says use graphing technology to graph x squared minus 2x plus 1. Tell me where the x-intercepts are.
You not hear that? I hear it. You not hear it? You not hear it? 1, 0.
1, 0?
Yeah.
So x equals 1 is where the 0 is, right? All right, now let's factor. Minus plus is always 2 negatives. So factors of 1, that add up to negative 2.
Or -1.
And then if you solve it, you get x equals 1. So that's the same thing you just saw on your graph. And it's a lot easier just to factor and look at it. It says write an equation for another one that you think will have only 1, 0. Well, anytime both of these are the same, it will only have 1, 0. That will only have 1, 0 at -3. This one will only have 1, 0 at 5. And this one would be 7. Okay, pretty simple. If they're the same, they have 1, 0. Don't need a graph to tell us that. It'd take longer to find Desmos than anything else. All right, homework then, starting on page 223. 1, circle the word all. Question number 2 is not multiple choice. You need to answer each one of those just like we did today. Factor it, solve it. Factor it, solve it. Elena, what did Elena do wrong? Find it. And fix it. If there is an error, find it and fix it. 4 you can handle. 5, 1 answer. 6, 1 answer. 7 is not multiple choice. Factor again. 8 all. 9. Been a while since we've done a piecewise function. I just want to mention that to you here. We'll do one of those together. Which one of the 4 do you want to do? It's not multiple choice. A, B, C, or D?
C.
C. Okay, so we're going to look at 4. So the only thing you have to decide, well, is 4 less than -2 or is 4 bigger than -2? Bigger. So that means I got to use this formula because it's bigger than -2. So I'm going to plug in 4 for x.
7.
That's my answer. So if it's bigger than -2, you plug it into this equation. If If it's less than -2, you plug it into the top equation. Easy as that.
You do all of them?
You need to do the rest, yes.